Hey mama, are you a multi-passionate mom who is juggling all the things, nursing a baby, battling laundry, trying to keep it together and keep a spicy marriage, and feeling like you're feeling all of it? What's up? I'm Ashley Carroll. I'm here to hold your hand through this process because I believe when you're ready to take control of your life, beat the limiting excuses, step into your own power, you can not only survive, but you can thrive. But you're gonna have to show up for yourself. It's time for me to tough love your way through prioritization, taking self-care seriously, getting rid of excuses, reconnecting with your family, kids, and spouse, and quite honestly, learning to love the chaos because the glory is in the journey. It's in the mess. In this podcast, you will find balance for busy mamas, navigating mom guilt, time management strategies, and everything in between with no fluff and lots of fun. Let's go. Hey guys, thanks for listening to another episode of So She Grows. I'm Ashley, and there has been something on my heart just now, I gotta talk about this. Like, why are we punishing ourselves in this way? And I want to do this really quickly. I feel like if I don't give you guys a long, lengthy episode, I'm not giving you your money's worth, so to speak. And so if this is short, I'm sorry. But I hope that this hits home for you. I hope that you resonate with this, and hopefully maybe I take some of the weight off your shoulders. And I'm going to do it quickly again because I said I'm also just now eating lunch. It's like 3 p.m. and I'm eating scrambled eggs out of a frying pan because I don't want to do dishes, if you can relate to that. So what I wanted to talk about was the fact of like feeling like we're failing because we have a bad day, we notice our shortcomings, we notice things that we need to change or that we want to change about ourselves, or, we had a bad wife day. Like, you guys, here's the truth. Legit, like, put your earmuffs on to any outside noise. This is what I'm going to tell you is the truth, and this is what I want you to hear. One bad day in motherhood, noticing a bad flaw about yourself, something that you handled poorly, something that you wish you could change, does not make you a bad person. It is not something that you should feel shameful about. You shouldn't feel depressed about it. You shouldn't get down on yourselves and beat yourselves up about it. The fact that you're noticing these things in and of itself puts you light years ahead of like a billion other people in the world, because there are thousands of people walking around pointing out other people's flaws because it's easier to notice everything that everybody else is doing wrong than to look at themselves and be responsible for their own selves. You guys know people like this. We have people like this in our lives that can point out every little thing that somebody else is doing wrong, but never once bring to the attention of, the thing that they said that was wrong, or the thing that they did that was wrong, or where they didn't show up in a certain way, right? Like, we all know those people. You are not one of those people. So don't beat yourself up about it. If you're noticing, like, you're driving, you're like, oh man, I totally blew up in there. I totally handled that situation wrong. Then you are light years ahead of everybody else, because that means that next time you're going to do it differently. You're making a conscious or unconscious note of something that didn't go the way you planned it. And so therefore, moving forward, you're going to change it. That doesn't mean that you need to get down about how you are. We have flaws. We're humans. There are things that we're wired to do, and it takes time to undo them. And having to undo them does not make you poorly designed. It does not mean that you should feel shame. God designed you that way specifically. He's saying, this is your wiring. This is how I made you. And to untangle yourself, I want you to walk with me through this. And there's a purpose for that. If you didn't have that, you wouldn't need me here. So I want you guys to feel the freedom in the fact that we're all flawed. We all have shortcomings. We all do things that we could do better. And comparison is the real thief of joy, you guys. I've been stuck in this rut of comparing myself to other podcasters out there, other motherhood. And I'm going to be real honest with you guys, because this is why I've had trouble showing up for you guys lately, because I am like one of those people that I want to give you 110%. And if I can't, I won't show up, because I feel like it's a waste of your time. I feel like I'm doing you injustice. I'm not doing you any favors. Like, I feel like I'm failing you in a sense, right? Because I'm like, there are 1,000 other podcasters out there. There's, like, who am I to tell them how to do this and that and the other? I'm still struggling with mindset myself. And at the same time, I'm like, but wait, I listen to people who still struggle themselves too. And that's why I listen to them, because I'm like, oh, they struggle like me, but then they also know how to work their way out of it, right? And that's what I need. And so I think we get in our heads too much about the things that we do wrong and the ways that we're poorly wired and the ways that we've been brought up because we feel like there must be something wrong with me. No, friend. You were designed on purpose for a reason. And yes, if there are changes that need to be made, they will be changed. But that does not mean that you are a bad person, that there's something wrong with you. It just means that we're growing, we're changing, and we have an opportunity to evolve and become better versions of ourselves, not somebody else, not somebody who had a different upbringing or different background or different this, that, and the other. No, like you, 2.0 version, okay? Like, and it happens in baby steps. There are things that I noticed about myself, like how I used to never apologize. I hated apologizing. I grew up not seeing it done in a marriage or relationship, and I felt like it was, not really brought any value to anything because I didn't see the value in it. I didn't grow up seeing it used or utilized in a healthy way at all, so I didn't see the value in it, and I didn't understand how come it was so valuable to somebody else until I started doing it, and then it was very awkward, and it took time, right? This isn't something that I overnight woke up and was like, you know what? I really suck at saying I'm sorry. And my husband really hates that I don't. And it's putting a wedge in our marriage. No, it takes me legit work. And it doesn't make me an awful person that I don't apologize. Did I feel shame about it initially? Yes. I felt like I was broken. Why don't I apologize? But then you can do that and spin the hamster wheel for hours of why don't I do this? Or how come I don't do that? Or I wish I did this, or I wish I did that. And if I had done this, I'd be a better mom. And if I had done that, I'd be a better wife. And if, this, that, and the other, you can do that all day long and it'll get you nowhere, but bring you down into a dark hole of comparisonitis, depression, just poor self-esteem. And that does nothing for nobody. It doesn't solve anything. It surely won't make you feel any better, and it won't change anything, right? So all we can do with the things that we notice is notice them, acknowledge them. Yes, I see it. I'm not a great apologizer. I don't take consideration into that naturally. And so what I do now, which takes me years, is really awkward practice of apologizing in really uncomfortable ways. And I might get the opportunity to change and do that once a week, maybe once a day. It depends on the season of what are things going on. And it's that, I think, is what we need to deem successful, is the fact that we are noticing something that we have the opportunity to change and make better. And then when we move forward, we do that. And there are going to be days where we drop the ball. There are days where I still am like, oh crap, I did it again, aren't I? And then I notice, and then I just move forward and go, you know what? Okay, I noticed it. That's fine. It's whatever it is. At least I'm moving forward. I still know what I'm going to be doing. And, the next time it happens, I can step up to the plate and apologize and have that opportunity to, approach things differently. And so I really wanted to stress that today with you guys is we don't have to get down on ourselves and beat ourselves up. And this negative self-talk about who we are and how we were made and the things that we do, even though it causes conflict in our marriage or our relationships or whatever, that does us no justice. And we don't deserve that negative self-talk. We wouldn't tell that to our kids when they do something, So we have to treat ourselves like we would treat our kiddos, give ourselves the grace that we give our kiddos, the same amount of opportunity for growth. We are people, we are human beings, we are flawed, and we deserve the same patience and the same window for being able to change things and grow. If you're mentoring somebody or you're the boss of somebody, you give them some slack, right? When they're first learning something, you don't expect them to, immediately get on it sometimes. I mean, maybe you guys have some bosses like that, but most of the time, right? We cut people some slack and we're like, okay, it's like a learning curve, but you'll get it. The same with us. We deserve that same learning curve. We'll get it. The fact that you acknowledge it, that you even noticed it, and that you care about it, I just want you to know how impactful that is and how amazing that in and of itself is, because that makes you somebody who is open to growth, open to change, that you want to become a better version of yourself. And nothing bad comes from those things. When you notice and acknowledge something that's there, and then you take slow baby steps, or even sometimes if it's drastic baby steps, you're like, this has to change, cold turkey, I'm doing it tomorrow, moving forward, End of story, right? Like no matter how we approach the situation, the fact that we see it and we're doing something about it is amazing. And it doesn't happen overnight. And you're going to be so blessed by the fact that you just care. Like, and that you're showing up for yourself, that you're showing up for your relationships, that you're showing up for motherhood. We're going to drop the ball. We're humans. It's going to happen. There are days when we have bad motherhood days. And guess what? Tomorrow we get to start over and try again, because that is the beauty of life, is that we have second chances. We have opportunities every day to do something differently than we did yesterday. And that is such a beautiful gift. And we are such beautiful people. And I just want you, like, I just have been hearing so many people being like, oh, I do this and I'm so awful and I need to change it. And oh my gosh. And I'm like, no, like acknowledge and notice it. Yes, you have this thing that you might need to change, but like, don't get down on yourself about it. Just acknowledge it and then change it moving forward. The next time you have that argument, the next time your kiddos do this or that, or the next time, like, then just change it a little bit, tweak it every time. And just then that in of itself is amazing. Like, I don't know if I can express that enough. Obviously, you guys, I think you're amazing. I've made that clear, right? I think I've said that word like 20 times. So it was just on my heart. And I really wanted to let you guys know that you do not deserve to beat yourselves up for the things that you're noticing. And when I am teaching on marriage or motherhood and I'm telling you ways to change things or new perspectives, and you're noticing that maybe you're not aligning with that, or you feel like, oh, you need to change it and you're, something needs to be fixed. You are not a broken toy. You don't need fixing. We are ever changing human beings who deserve grace, patience, love, kindness, and the opportunity for growth. So that is what I want to leave you with today. I hope that gave you a little bit of freedom. I hope that gives you a little bit of life. And if you could resonate, because I was sitting in those shoes, like literally, I feel like it's within reach how tangible that feeling is, because I was in that place of comparisonitis and feeling like I must be broken if XYZ. And it's like, no, the fact that you see it, the fact that you know that it's there and you're taking steps to changing it the next time. And then the next time after that gets a little bit better. And then the next time. And look, guys, some of our worst traumatic moments, the things that we've been through, the ways that we were raised up, are also the things that were the hardest for us, or, the things that we have to overcome. But they're also the events and the atmosphere and the experiences that made us the best women possible, the strongest women. Like, all of your good and bad attributes come from every single thing that's happened up until now, good and bad, right? And so I think we need to look at it moving forward of like, you know what? I'm not going to let the past define me. I'm not going to let some sort of small obstacle, like not easily apologetic, stubborn, things that are also good things in other scenarios and other situations, right? These are beautiful attributes that we all have that make us who we are. And so I think instead of looking back and be like, man, I wish I could change that, or I really hate that about myself. No, like, let's just look forward. And as in looking forward, if you guys can hear that noise, it's the hamster rolling around. Y'all, it's a crazy mess in here. It's either a kid, an animal, or who knows around here. Okay. But hamsters have to get their exercise too. Okay. So hamster ball is happening right now. But yeah, like, I think we need to just give ourselves grace and really, look at ourselves through that perspective lens of like, everything that has led me up until this moment has provided the good and bad parts of me. And I can only move forward, because if we're looking back, we're going nowhere, right? But if we're looking forward and we're just saying the next day, tomorrow's a new day, and every day you're growing and every day you're learning, you're in a good place. Like, that is what we were meant to do. I believe that we are meant to walk this life faithfully and fruitfully. And when you're growing and learning, like, there will be fruit from that. And so I just wanted to encourage you in that today, because I found myself not only seeing this stumbling block in myself lately, but also in other people, and the conversations that I've been having and the coaching that I've been having, of just really getting down and focusing on like all these negative things about ourselves. But if you're growing, like I can't emphasize that enough. If you're growing and you're learning, you're moving forward every day, like you're not going to be the same person. It's only going to get better. It's only going to change. And the fact that you notice puts you light years and ahead of other people, like if that makes you feel better, but also like just have faith. Like when I look back and at myself 10 years ago, I am nowhere near there. I'm so grateful for the growth that I've had. And I'm sure that if you look back at yourself 10 years ago, where things were, or even a month ago, just man, like some of the people that I've put in my life over the past 6 months have really impacted me, and I've gained new perspective and just so many great things, so many growth. And so it's, if you just look at it forward, like this forward moving ball, and just focus on putting one foot in front of the other, you're going to be all right. You're going to be making the correct changes. You're going to see the fruits of your labor, even if it's a year from now, 10 years from now, but it's going to be there. And the fact that you're doing the work now, it's going to pay off. So I just wanted to give you that encouraging word today and remind you that, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, you know, we're constantly comparing ourselves, and it's hard to keep that in mind. And so I figured if you don't remember, I'm going to tell you. And if I needed to hear this, possibly you needed to hear it too. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you are having an amazing, awesome week. And I'm so grateful for you listening into this podcast. And I hope that you subscribe and share it with your friends. Screenshot this episode, put it on Instagram, your Instagram stories, tag me. And I would love to add you. And also that way I know that you're listening, who's listening, and that you like it and that you're getting something from it. And so do not forget to do that and join the So She Grows Mom community, because it goes down in there. All right. Like, we talk about some crazy things. It's good. It's good. So I will catch you guys next time.